All right, welcome to week 5, everybody. This is our introductory lecture on online shaming. And so what I'm going to do in this short lecture is introduce you to the main questions we're going to be asking this week, and then introduce you to a little bit of the media coverage of 2 specific cases of online shaming that have happened in the past decade, one in 2014, right at the beginning of 2014. This is the case of Justine Sacco, which you read about or will read about in the readings for this week. And then the second one is the very recent case that you've probably heard of involving Amy Cooper. So we'll just talk about the questions we'll be looking at in this unit and then look at the cases. Okay, so what are the questions we'll be asking? Well, we're going to be asking what is good about online shaming, pardon the typo. We'll be asking about what's bad about online shaming. So what are the advantages of it? What are its disadvantages? Under what conditions is online shaming justified? What responsibilities do potential online shamers have? And then why do we engage in online shaming? And what are some of the psychological phenomena that are motivating us to shame other people online? So those are our questions. Now let's look at our 2 cases, which we'll be sure to talk about in this unit. And if you all bring in more cases that we can look at, that's great too. There's been a lot of this in recent years. So the first case is the case of Justine Sacco. And Justine Sacco was, believe it or not, a PR executive. So this made this case kind of especially ironic for some people. So Justine Sacco goes on vacation over the Christmas holidays, and she's tweeting as she goes along. She tweets a number of things, jokes and such. She's making fun of, some German dude who's talking about BO. She's making fun of Londoners for having bad teeth and eating chili cucumber sandwiches. And then right before she flies to South Africa, she tweets, "Going to Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." Okay, so she apparently meant this as an ironic comment, but obviously it was a stupid thing to tweet. So I'll just read you a little bit now from Ronson's 2015 New York Times article, which kind of detailed what happened to her, and then there's an extended discussion. It's quite interesting. He ends up interviewing her sometime later, but here's some of his descriptions of the initial events. So she tweets this thing about going to Africa, and then Ronson writes, "She chuckled to herself as she pressed send on this last one, then wandered around Heathrow's international terminal for half an hour, sporadically checking her phone. No one replied, which didn't surprise her. She had only 170 Twitter followers. Sacco boarded the plane. It was an 11-hour flight, so she slept. When the plane landed in Cape Town and was taxiing on the runway, she turned her phone on. Right away, she got a text from someone she hadn't spoken to since high school. 'I'm so sorry to hear what's happening.' Sacco looked at it, baffled. Then another text. 'You need to call me immediately.' It was from her best friend, Hannah. Then her phone exploded with more texts and alerts, and then it rang. It was Hannah. 'You're the #1 worldwide trend on Twitter right now,' she said." Sacco's Twitter feed had become a horror show. So here are some of the things people write. "In light of Justine Sacco disgusting racist tweet, I'm donating to @CareToday." And "How did Justine Sacco get a PR job? Her level of racist ignorance belongs on Fox News. #AIDS can affect anyone." And "I'm an IAC employee and I don't want Justine Sacco doing any communications on our behalf ever again, ever." And then one from her employer, IAC, the corporate owner of the Daily Beast, OkCupid, and Vimeo. "This is an outrageous, offensive comment. Employee in question currently unreachable on an international flight." The anger soon turned to excitement. "All I want for Christmas is to see Justine Sacco's face when her plane lands and she checks her inbox/voicemail. And, oh man, Justine Sacco is going to have the most painful phone turning on moment ever when her plane lands. And we're about to watch this Justine Sacco bitch get fired in real time before she even knows she's getting fired." It goes on. So she does get fired. And moreover, workers at the hotel she's planning to stay at in South Africa, threaten to strike if she shows up. She's also told that they can't guarantee her safety, and her South African family is ashamed of her and tells her she's tarnished what they stand for as a family. Okay, so this is what happened in the sort of immediate aftermath of Sacco's actions. Okay, now let's look at the case of Amy Cooper, which is also known now as the Central Park birdwatching incident. So let me show you this video, and one more after that. So here's some news coverage of the incident.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
This was a local story, but quickly made national headlines. Today, we learned that charges have been filed against the woman in this video, Amy Cooper. She was caught on the cell phone video calling police on a black man after he asked her to leash her dog in Central Park. News 4's Randa Novini has the latest.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
The video created a firestorm on social media. Now, 2 months after this Central Park confrontation went viral, there are charges.
He's recording me and threatening me and my dog.
The woman in the video, Amy Cooper, is seen calling the NYPD to say an African-American man is threatening her. The man behind the camera, Christian Cooper, is an avid bird watcher who had asked Amy to put her dog on a leash in an area where it's required. He doesn't appear to move any closer to her, even as her tone gets more frantic.
I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
Now, Amy Cooper is charged with filing a false report in the 3rd degree, many saying her actions could have caused Christian to be arrested for no reason, or worse.
That guy could have been in jail if there were no witnesses or maybe a video or stuff like that.
In the days after the video was shared, Amy Cooper lost her job and temporarily lost custody of her dog. She apologized for her actions, but many felt it wasn't enough. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office saying today they're committed to holding perpetrators of this conduct accountable. In Central Park, New Yorkers happy to hear about charges and also hope Amy learns from it.
By forgiving, it's not so much saying that it's okay for her to have done that, but it's okay for her to move on and learn from the experience.
On the Upper West Side, Randa Novini, News 4, New York.
Okay, now we have one more video. So this is her employer. So she was, I think, the head of insurance investments or something like that at Franklin Templeton.
Jenny, I want to turn to you because diversity obviously is top of mind right now. And there's a lot of anger and unrest on our streets at the moment. And Wall Street has been caught up in it as well with the video of Amy Cooper, the white employee at Franklin Templeton at the time, calling police and accusing the African-American man of threatening her and her dog. Amy Cooper was initially placed on leave, and then she was fired. This all happened within 24 hours. Can you give us any insight into the thinking to make this decision?
Yeah, I mean, so first of all, I just have to commend our crisis management team. It was a holiday. Everybody got together. We needed to spend time getting the facts. Sometimes videos can get manipulated, and so you have to make sure that you've reviewed all the facts. I think the facts were undisputed in this case, and we were able to make a quick decision. We are a company that has employees. We have offices in 35 countries. We have clients in over 170 countries. We really work to have both a diverse environment, and diversity means nothing if it's not an inclusive environment. And that is critical to us. And so, we just felt that in this case, we needed to make a statement. And it has been a great opportunity for us to actually reflect internally and reach out to our business resource groups and talk to them about, what else can we be doing? I mean, this country, the U.S. is in a lot of pain right now, and our African-American colleagues are in a lot of pain right now. And so making it a time to really reflect internally, all of us as leaders of our asset, we can't control everything, but we can control the environment in which we operate our companies. And it starts with leaders ensuring that discrimination is not tolerated and that we create an environment that absolutely feels inclusive for all employees.
What was the response from your employees Jenny, from your clients to the decision that you made?
I would say the overwhelming response was supportive, and there was a segment that felt it was unfair, but that was a small minority segment. And we have to make those decisions based on our core values. We've always said we have a zero tolerance for any kind of racism, and so we felt that it was important to make that decision.
Okay. And so the other thing I wanted to note, and you will see this if you read the extra news articles posted on Canvas, the other thing is that Christian Cooper, the man that she called the police on, has expressed a lot of ambivalence about the severity of the public response to Amy Cooper, and is now saying that he is having zero involvement in the district attorney's case against Amy Cooper. So that's the case for filing a false police report. So that is sort of where the cases stand. And again, there's much more you can read about them on Canvas or just Google. Okay, and then finally, this is the book by Jon Ronson that was cited multiple times in the reading. So if you were wondering exactly what book they're talking about, it was in the works cited sections of the papers, but this is the cover of the book. So I will see you in lecture 5.2 when we'll first look at the Billingham and Parr paper, and then on Thursday we'll be looking at the Catherine Norlock paper. Alrighty, see you soon.